So, baby, in about 2.5 years, we're going to be empty nesters.
I
Our little one is going to be going off on her own, joining the military, Air Force.
know.
And it's just going to be me and you.
I know.
How are you feeling? Thinking about that. Like, it's only 2.5 years away.
I'm excited, but also like nervous at the same time because it's my baby. But I feel so confident like in her and in her capabilities of like, living her own life and making the right decisions for herself. But I'm also excited for us to like just be like husband and wife 24/7. You know what I'm saying? And like being able to do the things that we want to do, not have to consider like what school's on, what the time of the year. Like we can do whatever we want, whenever we want. I'm like excited about that, but I'm still also nervous about baby girl.
Because it's like now we're getting to that point where you really have to see all of, the hard work and the dedication as parents. You got to see what does that actually produce in this little human that's about to go out here and do their own thing.
I know. I'm like, girl. But like, I mean, we have so many real conversations these days. And like, I talk to her about like real stuff because it's like, I want to see how she gonna respond when I ask her like certain questions and things like that. But the way she thinks is so unique, and that's gonna help her. Like she's the way her mindset is crazy. She's so resourceful. Like I'm so proud of her already. Yes, I know she's gonna be okay. It's more so me like I'm mom, so I'm like, this is my baby. Like, God, but
it's crazy because man, you really never really think about how going into that empty nester like phase of life is gonna like impact you. I mean, you might think about it a little bit, but like now seeing that it's actually starting to like take form and that we're already starting to make plans for after the fact. Yeah. And like what our marriage and what our lives are gonna look like. And now we're actually doing things leading up to that so that way we could be prepared. Right. Like it's way more real now. Like it's not just like this is how you're going to feel and this is, how you're going to respond to it. Like now we're like, no, we're planning and putting things in place now. Right. Like decisions got to be made. Actions got to be taken. Like it's real now. It's for real.
Yeah. I wonder if people like talk about that stuff though. Cause I know it's so interesting, the conversations that people don't already have in their relationship. So I wonder if people ever consider like, your kids are going to leave one day and it is just going to be you and the person that you're married. So like, do you talk about like what it'll look like when you guys transition into empty nesters or whatever? Obviously it would depend on how many like kids they have, but I just wonder if people actually have those conversations. Cause I mean, like you said, we're 2.5 years out and we're having these conversations. So I'm curious about that.
I've talked to a few people about it before and through the context of me talking to them about us, planning for it and getting prepared for it. And I've never, in the few conversations I have had, I haven't seen or came across anybody who I know that talks about it the way that we do. And I remember talking to one of my homies a while back and he was like, man, I never even like considered that for real. Like, who are you going to be outside of being, a father? Who are you going to be outside of being, that present parent who got so much of their life wrapped up inside of their kids? And how are you and your spouse going to transition into being just y'all again? Because now it's not just about, work, your marriage, kids, and all of their priorities and the stuff that you do. Like now it's going to have more so of a microscope on your marriage and the quality of what you have with your spouse and how that's going to impact the years to come. Yeah. Because life don't stop after, the kids are gone. Like you still got a whole bunch more life to live together. Right. And like, that's something you really got to be intentional about because a lot of people do, man, they wrap their whole being into like just being parents, but not realizing like, bro, eventually your kid's gonna go off and do their own thing,
as they should. Like if you're raising them the right way, they should be able to go into the world and be functioning human beings.
Yeah. And not need you to be down their neck the whole time.
Right.
Like they need to be self-sufficient and able to navigate the world on their own and can trust. You need to be able to trust in yourself to know that you gave them all that you could, you know, in the time that you had.
Yeah. And know that it doesn't stop too. I mean, just because they're, you know, out in the world doesn't mean that parenting stops.
Absolutely.
It's just like, you do still have to give them space to learn and to grow things on their own and just be that open door. Like, hey, I'm here to mentor you, coach you, parent you through whatever you need help with. But like, as far as like being the decision maker for you, nah, you got it.
Yeah.
But I'll support you. Like we're here. We got your back. And that's something baby girl already knows. Like we got your back, like regardless of what happens. And it's just important for me that she knows that.
Yeah.
Like you not going out into the world and being by yourself on your own. Like it's like, yeah, you're living your own life, but you have parents who are still going to be present for you, you know, when you need us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that not only are we, you know, younger parents, but that we're as active and present as we are. Because, man, I remember when I left home, 17 years old, never had actually been anywhere for real, like didn't know anything about what the world really looked like outside of like my city or state. You know what I mean? And so I'm so glad that we've given her, you know, so much exposure, but like also like not too much. So that way there is still some excitement about the world.
Yes.
I'm also glad that like in all that she's doing, we have knowledge about certain things. Like we can be able to help, not necessarily like set her expectations, but at least start to like groom her mind to be prepared for what might come.
Yeah.
Like in the fact that we're still actively growing and pursuing our dreams, and we can talk to her like, hey, this will just be a phase of your life. It might be something that you want to do long term, but you're also not having to commit your whole life to it.
Yeah.
You can use it as a transitional phase to be able to figure out what you want to do long term and try other things. Like I love the fact that we're still like in the weeds of living life and growing and pursuing the things that are important to us. And then also like grooming her and like showing her the same thing as we're doing it also in real life. Like we're not, you know, on our retirement type of deal or whatever, you know, just kind of like looking to like relax. Like, no, we still growing. We still building.
Yes.
We still chasing goals. We're still fit, active, traveling, you know, building businesses and things like that. Like, I love that we're still in all of that. And that way, like, she don't have to have this thought process to where it's like, all right, you need to know exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life soon as you leave the house. Because if you don't, it's over for you.
You know, and that's a great point because she's seen us have multiple careers. Yeah. Like, you know, and she's been able to see like, okay, this is what we did for a season here. And then this changed, like our interests changed or our passion changed or or we felt like our purpose changed. So we started doing something different. We've even shown her like, it's okay to make mistakes along the way, but the mistakes are lessons to help you grow and be better. Like, so she's been able to see us move and be so like flexible in how we wanted to live our lives. That was how we wanted to live our lives, not what anybody else had to say about anything. So she's been able to watch us do that. And like, it gives her a reference point of this doesn't have to be a permanent thing. Like whatever you choose doesn't have to be permanent unless you just want it to. You can decide, hey, this is what I'm gonna do for a season. And now I'm gonna do this thing. It's okay.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I didn't have, well, shoot, neither one of us had it. Like I didn't have anybody talking to me like that when I was coming up, you know? And like, I remember leaving, you know, at 17 and joining the military and going to the Army. Man, in my mind, I thought I was going to do that for 30 years, retire, be a mall cop somewhere, you know, man, and just like ride out on my retirement and like that was going to be life. Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you, Lord, that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and I didn't have anybody to talk to me about the military for real. I also didn't have any questions to ask because I didn't even know what to ask. Like there weren't any real like conversations leading up to it or any like actions I was trying to take to prepare for life or whatever. Like, bro, I didn't even know how to work an ATM for real until I had been in for a little while.
Right.
Like, you know, it was, and it's funny now just thinking about like some of the little daily, like just living type of things that I didn't know nothing about at all. Like, man, I was so unprepared for life.
To be an adult.
Yeah, like I had no clue, man. Like, even like I remember, man, my recruiter, because I was freaking 17, like my recruiter helped me set up a bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't none that I got inside of my household or whatever. Like, baby girl already got that stuff, is learning how to like bank and do stuff. We talking about finances and credit and all of those things. Like, bro, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
So like now seeing all that we're pouring into her and seeing her use the stuff, seeing her like being able to, when we travel, the way we'll have her navigating us around the airport.
Yeah.
Well, it's my first time going to an airport when I joined the Army.
Same.
My first time ever just going into the thing.
Yeah.
Let alone flying.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I'm so glad that she'll be so much more equipped in comparison to like what we had. You know what I mean? So she already got such a leg up. And I'm glad that she won't have to have that fear of just being oblivious and not knowing.
Right. Yeah.
And not having anybody to lean on. Like, she won't have that.
Yeah. She know we a phone call away, a flight away. Like, I will get to you if you need to. I don't care where you at.
Yes, I ain't got no concerns about baby girl, but I won't lie to you, man. What I'm excited about most, man, is us living life. So
what are you most like? Okay, what about that is most exciting for you?
I feel like, man, our life has been serious pretty much since we got married. Like, our whole marriage has been serious. Like, no. Our marriage has been so serious because of the fact that, like, when we got married, days after you left, immediate long-term relationship because you had to go back to Washington while I was still stationed in Texas.
Yes.
Get to Washington, and then next thing you know, I'm spending literally 10 months out of the next year of us physically being together in the field.
Yeah. Then
the following year, I'm actually home a little bit more, but I still work crazy hours. And it's like, in my job in the Army, I didn't get to just walk away from my phone. Like, that mug was going off all the time. Then, so like having the hecticness of that finally coming out, you know, like to Texas. And now I got a job where there's a little bit more flexibility, but I don't even have my phone most of the day because I was in a secure facility.
Right.
We traveling all over the country because we had all of these smaller, you know, field teams or whatever. So I'm TDY all the time. Like, life has been so serious with, and we got COVID happening. We got all of these things, like stuff that you had going on. It's been serious the whole time, and we haven't had real support at all. So we haven't had, you know, a whole village around us when it comes to like taking care of baby girl and like raising her and things like that. Like, we had a little bit of support here and there, but our whole marriage has been us having to handle business like the whole time with little pockets of where we would get to be able to enjoy us and just being married.
Yeah.
But like, never for extended periods of time. Like, it's been baby girl this, business this, work, job, this stuff going on or whatever, like other family stuff. And then like a sliver of us being able to do things. Like, we've done a great job at taking care of our marriage through all of that. But every time we've had those opportunities to really enjoy ourselves, we've really enjoyed ourselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had like great times. And it's always heartbreaking a little bit when we have to end those moments because we got to go back to being
work.
serious.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, we're going into this phase of life that I'm so excited about because we'll be able to prioritize our marriage more than we ever have before and actually enjoy each other's company as husband and wife all the more without having to have that constant alert button on in our head, wondering like what baby girl got going on, where she at. You know what I'm saying? Because even when you take a little little getaway is still playing in like the back of your head.
Yeah.
And so now, like, we're going to be able to work on, you know, our businesses with just us, be able to travel and move freely and do different things like that, and really be able to like go hard on our marriage and what we're building together in our future. And I'm super excited about it.
Me too.
Like, I'm trying to step my whole romancing game up, you know, being a whole lot more spontaneous, because now there's less logistics I got to worry about getting that stuff done.
That's true.
I don't have to coordinate all of the other stuff, you know, around baby, and it'll just be us, man. So I'm super hype about it. I'm looking forward to stepping my husband game up to like a whole other level.
I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Me too.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that looks like for you and for me. Cause I know, man, I reap what I sow. Like when I put that out, let's see what type of energy, you know, I get back.
Oh, you know it's coming.
By just like investing in my wife, you know, at the highest level possible. Like I told you, super husband is the only goal. Right. So yeah, man, I gotta step it all the way up. And I'm preparing to do so in a major way, man. We gotta get these years back of just enjoying us for real. And I'm glad that we get to do that, especially while we're still young. Like,
yeah, for real.
Like, I'm glad we ain't in our 50s or 60s and nothing like that. Like, we still got a lot of active stuff we want to do from me. I want to skydive more. I know we want to hike everywhere.
Yes.
Go to all the parks.
I can't wait. I want to be in nature.
Yeah.
Nature girly.
I want to do a whole bunch of stuff, man, and just be able to get up and go. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, all of that. Okay. All of that. Just being able to move freely, just be more flexible in the things that we want to do and focus on us 100% again, and see who we become together in that.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I'm just excited. Yeah.
How do you think our marriage is going to evolve during that time period? How do you envision that?
I don't know, like, because I feel like our marriage is just naturally just keeps getting better because we get better. I just see it being, I guess, more adventure based. Yeah. So, but like everything improves when we improve anyway. So I don't see. I guess I'll say it like this. I can't envision what our marriage would look like because I couldn't even imagine what our marriage looks like now. So for me to try to imagine what it'll look like in the future, like my brain can't compute. Yeah. Because it's like, I didn't even know it would look like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm down for whatever it's going to look like because I know like it's going to be fire because we're fire. And yeah. like I'm sorry, I can't give you like the words but that's it. Like, I just know it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I would definitely say that I envision our marriage being a whole lot more adventurous, spontaneous for sure. And like definitely stepping it up, man, in all of the ways that allow us to connect more, just because, bro, for one, man, we crazy about each other. This is call it what it is.
We are.
We just crazy about each other, man. And I know that with the way that we like to grow and work on each other and the way that we enjoy just spending time together, all I see is us being like that much better during that phase of life because of who we've consistently been over time. Yeah. Like, I don't see any of that stuff stopping. I only see it getting better.
Obviously.
Like us working harder on ourselves, our fitness going to another level, our mindsets, our experiences, us being able to step that up like to a whole other level. Yeah, man. And just not having to consider so many other logistics around it and just having that freedom to just to do us, man.
Yes.
And I can only see amazing things coming from that.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that we actually talk about this stuff like proactive from the places we want to go, the experiences we want to have, like how we actually want to love on each other and just how we want to expand who we are within our marriage and our marriage as a whole.
Yeah, and what our lifestyle look like day to day
too.
Yeah.
So, because listen here, I'm over this suburban life. You can have this.
Man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's like the house in the suburbs, man. You know, they talk about, you know, buy the house, you know, have a kid and get the pets and be in your little, man, listen here. Have this crap, man. I'm over home ownership.
Yeah.
I know that is a lot of people's like goal. Not for me.
Right.
I'm big over it. Like, bro, we could have us a condo, a high rise or whatever, where we can call people and they can come do their thing. Even the fact that we got a new build is great. It's too much space. It's like too much to manage.
Yeah, like I love this house. I absolutely love this house. But it's 3 of us and it's a bunch of bedrooms in here. And like,
that we don't use.
It's like a lot of space. And it's like, okay, I'm ready to like downgrade.
Yeah. Like I'm looking forward to like a minimalistic life, man. Yeah. And like just having less stuff to manage.
Yeah.
Like in our personal life. Like I want more to manage in our professional lives when it comes to the things that we're doing and how we're moving in that space. But I don't want a bunch of cars. I don't want a whole bunch of house and land. Like I don't want all of that stuff. Like
not right now.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah.
Like when we get to another phase where we're slowing down and we want to settle, maybe then, you know, let's holler at us again when we hit like 45, 50.
Right.
Somewhere up in there. But like right now, man, nah, like less is more. Less is more. Like the less stuff we got to manage, the better for me. Because I know that we have a lot that we want to do. And having all of that extras is good on that.
Thanks. Yeah. And I mean, we wouldn't need this big old house for 2 people anyway. 2 people and a dog. Like, nah.
Good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. In essence, though, family, you know, this conversation is more so just around the fact that we hope that, you know, the couples who do have kids together, that you take some time and actually consider what life is going to look like after, you know, your kids have grown up and they've moved along, because life doesn't stop. Like your marriage doesn't stop, your relationship doesn't stop. And it's important to start thinking about what you actually envision the rest of your life to do, because it still has to be bigger than the kids. Like your marriage is so much bigger than that, and it's to the grave. Yeah. You know what I mean? So have those conversations, man. Like envision that stuff for yourselves and start having those conversations. And that's the message for today. Yeah. And until next time, family, my name is John Tron. This is my beautiful queen.
Adoria.
And we are one dope couple. And until next time, family, peace and love.